Nevada rental laws outline the rules that govern rent-related matters in Nevada, from the terms of a lease agreement to the legally required disclosures that a landlord must make to the tenant prior to moving in. For landlords and tenants alike, knowing your rights and obligations can help you avoid conflict or even costly liabilities in the future. In this video, we'll give you an overview of what the state law says about lease agreements, required disclosures, security deposits, and evictions. We're eForms, the largest online database of fillable legal forms. Check out the link below to access a fillable lease agreement template. Let's first go over the basics. What is a lease agreement? A lease agreement is a rental contract between a landlord and a tenant. Depending on the type of agreement, whether it's a month-to-month lease, a standard agreement, or a rent-to-own, both the landlord and tenant are bound to the specific terms regarding the length of the lease, termination, and more. Because a lease agreement is legally binding once it's signed, breaking the contract can result in hefty fines or even legal action. Next, let's take a look at the required disclosures. In Nevada, there are a total of 6 disclosures that the landlord must provide to the tenant. Fees. Any non-refundable fee charged to the tenant must be stated in the lease agreement. Foreclosure. The landlord must notify any prospective or current tenants that the property is subject to foreclosure proceedings. Move-in checklist. The landlord must provide the tenant with a checklist where they can record pre-existing damages on the property. Nuisance violation. The landlord must provide the tenant with a guide on how to report a nuisance or violation on the premises to proper government authorities. USA flag right to raise. The landlord must provide the tenant with information on their right to wave the American flag on the premises. Lead-based paint disclosure. Under federal law, the landlord must provide a disclosure about the possible presence of lead-based paint on the property if it was built on or before 1978. Now let's take a closer look at security deposit laws. In Nevada, the maximum security deposit amount that a landlord can request is 3 months' rent. Also under state law, the security deposit must be returned to the tenant within 30 days at the end of their tenancy. Finally, let's cover Nevada's eviction laws. In Nevada, a landlord may evict a tenant under the following requirements. Non-payment of rent. If the tenant is late on rent, the landlord can issue a 7-day notice to quit. The landlord is required to wait 5 days for the tenant to respond before beginning the eviction process. Non-compliance. If a tenant breaches the terms of a lease agreement, the landlord can issue a 5-day notice to quit. This gives the tenant 5 days to fix the violation or move out. Illegal activity or substantial damage to the property. If the tenant is engaged in illegal activity such as drug-related offenses or causes substantial damage to the property, the landlord can issue a 3-day notice to quit. Termination. If the landlord wants to terminate a month-to-month lease for reasons other than non-payment of rent or non-compliance, they must provide 30 days notice to the tenant. Want to learn more about Nevada rental laws? Visit the link in the description below for a comprehensive breakdown on all things related to lease agreements, evictions, and more.